Hey, what's up, everybody? Guess I haven't actually spoken out loud in a little while. No, that's what usually happens to me because I, working alone at the studio, I'll go to do something. It could be like later in the day, and I'm like, I haven't said anything out loud, and all of a sudden my voice just cracks like that. But yeah, what's up, Pudgy? Chris asked what VGNO means. I'll give the super abbreviated, not the long version, but um, it was just an early stream. It was late. This is deep, like when everything was like we didn't have lockdown here, but stay at home order. So just buzzed, having the chat, looking at maps, and got into a place with a viewer in Rehoboth Beach, and reminded me of a story from when I was a kid. We were walking around with my family and my cousins, and we walked by a bar with the full patio. And my dad's like, "This is the place to be," just because the place was packed, the whole patios. And one of my cousins was like, "Ah, every single person at that bar is a man or a dude, whatever would have said at the time." And my dad said, maybe it's guys' night out. And obviously, the bar was called the Blue Moon. That's why we had the Blue Moon emoji, too. And it's obviously just a gay bar. Guys' night out at a bar is not really, I mean, guys go out, but the whole entire bar having a guys' night out, that's not really a thing. So Pudgy's comment was, well, these live streams are kind of like virtual guys' night out. So, which is true. It's been mostly dudes in the chats, but yeah, that's the quick version of it. So, what's up, JMZ, Large Marge, Chris Alto? Um, oh, I hate when this scrolls like that. What's up, Dylan? Oh, Rick. Oh, Rick says he got 40 miles in today. What did us losers do? Make snow angels? And that's what it feels like. I actually rode down to the post office because Rick ordered a bandana and mailed that to him, and then rode over to the bike shop because one of my deity pedals had lost the end cap, which is actually an important part of the pedal in the compound deity pedals. So I see Rick has the 1 year members badge too. So that's the first. I think there's a couple who have it, and by next week there should be a few more. But I can't believe this channel has had members for a year now. That's awesome. So yeah, I went with the VGNO emoji for that too. So yeah, I think I ended up with 10 miles today. That's about what I'm getting now. I'm riding my winter bikes and riding like 8 to 10 miles. Yesterday, I just rode around my neighborhood, kind of, a little back here behind the studio, and then on the other side towards downtown Cuyahoga Falls. I'm getting real tired of not being able to just go and ride. I don't mind even like pushing through the snow, as you guys know, but it's just we can't even do that. We can't even just get on the bike trails and like work for it. How Jay Dandy showed the map, and that's true. The story I was telling, that's what we were doing. We were kind of zooming around on maps, and yeah, just went down the rabbit hole. Hey, what's up, Gary? 63, huh? You guys had 60 sunny day and 63. Today was today the last couple days have been sunny and it looks really pretty out with all the snow. I just saw the Cleveland newspaper said this is the longest we've had snow on the ground in Northeast Ohio since 2015. Not a huge long record, but 23 days in a row. When I was a kid, that seemed pretty normal. Anymore, that's definitely not very normal to have snow stick around that long. It's usually we get some, it melts or rains, whatever, get some more. But Chris rode 3 miles to the office. Finally warm enough to take off your balaclava. Nice. Hey, what's up, Farley? Hey, what's up, Malk? Malk, you went and bought an Apple TV to set up Zwift Trainer because it uses Apple TV exclusively. Oh, Zwift's actual branded trainer? That came out? I didn't even realize that was out yet. I saw some of the prototypes of what the Zwift trainer looked like. Huh. Well, it's weird that Zwift would be exclusive like that because they really tried. They seem to make their app work for everything, right? But I was actually talking to when I was at the bike shop. A friend was picking up a trainer, and I was kind of telling him he just happened to be random that he walked in, and I was telling him some just pointers that I've got from the trainer, and he was looking to get into Zwift and stuff like that. He's doing it not because he won't ride out or not because of weather related. He's just had a few injuries and he actually can't go ride on the street. He's using it for rehab. And I was like, it's still a good tool to motivate you, Zwift, uh, to ride on the trainer. It just makes it more fun. But hey, what's up, Blackball? How's it going? Your new bandana should be on the way. I actually, when they took it at the post office, they marked it a certain way and they said hopefully they take it. And I said, whoa, let's not do it that way because the last time it didn't get through because it has to cross the border to Canada. So we'll see what happens this time. What's up, Raymond? What's up, Nathan? Obsolescence. I was when I went to the bike shop today. I also talked to Obsolescence. We were chatting a little bit uh, about handmade bags, and he was showing me some of his. And it's something not that I want to get into in a business element, but I would love to just try to experiment with making something on my own just to do it. But I have a sewing machine that I have no idea how to use. I mean, very little idea, and I've just always, and this is what we were talking about for over a decade now. It's my grandma's. I've wanted to teach myself how to use it, so I kind of tried to motivate myself by buying a couple little sheets of X Pack and just try something, see what I can do, make some real ugly, make a real ugly misshapen, maybe like little corner frame bag or something. Hey, what's up, Muskrat? I've chatted with everyone today because I chatted with Muskrat over email. I also talked to Alejandro on the phone earlier. I actually, oh, he's in a meeting, so I know that because we chatted. He needed some measurements for cable housing on his Peugeot because he's ordering them from Great Britain, the UK. So he has it for his bike in Spain because he's going to do the Aroca event in June. And he was invited me as well and saying, we've talked about it a couple times when we've looked at the maps of where he's from and stuff. And it seems awesome. It's obviously to get to Spain in June is probably not likely for me as much as I would like to. And I know, oh man, who was on that? There's a bunch of us on that stream that night talking about, man, it would be the next meetup ride should be in Spain and stuff like that. But yeah. Well, yeah, what's up, Garvin? Uh, Nathan, you guys got 10 inches of snow? Oh, Nathan, some bike caps. That's what we talked about originally. Me and Large and Aaron got this pointed in such a stupid direction. Me and Large and Aaron all have machines, and Aaron knows how to sew. And we were originally talking about, man, we should all get together and have like a sewing circle. You can imagine the name we came up with for that. Let's see if anyone can guess the name we came up with for our sewing circle idea, which I never approved. But yeah, and we're like, caps would be like kind of a cool place to start because it's practical. And when you look at the construction of different cycling caps, whether 4 panel or the 3 panel with the center panel, it doesn't seem like it'd be too difficult to figure out. But yeah, I think we've been talking about that for 3 years. Like winter, perfect time. We don't ride that much, and we uh, have a fire at Aaron's house and drink some beers. It'd be the perfect time to do it. But yeah, I do want to learn. The main thing, the reason years ago I wanted to learn how to sew is like I just couldn't get clothes where I'd like get the sleeves that are as tight as I want them, and I'm like, I'd love to learn how to like cut those seams and like just sew like the sleeves or like the jeans like a little tighter and all that stuff. But one of those things. I think starting my own business took precedence as it should. And now, you know, the other thing I do outside of actually cycling and work is the YouTube stuff. So, but Rick would ride Swift if Rivendell made a trainer. Nice, Dylan. Pudgy, you're pretty close to hitting it on the nose. Yeah, we were just joking around about the circle jerks, but yeah, which yeah. So you were, I think that counts because you got the words in there. There was no prize, but yeah, if there was, that would count. Scissors and sausages. I like that. Caps for large heads. Yeah. I actually usually order the small medium when I get a cap. I guess I have a small head for a tall person. I don't know. See if anyone dropped any. Oh, I lost my place in the bike chat. I clicked the wrong button. Shoot. Well, oh well. We'll get back to that anyways. See what the drink picks look like tonight. Summit Perry is drinking a Cidergeist. Who makes that? Hard cider with spices. So Cidergeist, Rheingeist, from Cincinnati. Their brand of cider. I need to watch this Pabst commercial later, Malk. I guess actually I could put it on now because I don't have any advertising on the streams anymore, so it's can't get demonetized if you're not monetized. But Pudgy's drinking a Nitro Irish Stout. How is that? I haven't had a Breckenridge beer forever. I think they got bought by someone. Am I right? I think they got bought by someone corporate. Not that that means the beer's not good, just that I stopped buying it. But dry stout brewed with roasted Irish malts. Now it's actually getting at least a little closer. Like usually it's like the day after Christmas and they start putting out all the like St. Patrick's beers. Raymond has a Lawson's Hopzilla double IPA. Nice. Oh yeah, and I just got a Columbus IPA. My autofocus isn't working on this camera still, right? Nope. Now Bell's just got bought. Yeah, Bell's yeah, the founder of Bell's just sold it to. He didn't sell out to a. He didn't sell out to one of the big breweries. He didn't sell out to uh, Coors or what? There's only two, Coors and InBev, who owns Anheuser Busch. He sold it to some what? It's like a Japanese distillery company or something like that. But yeah, I think Breckenridge is part of a conglomerate. If maybe they're still more independent, but a double IPA is twice the IPA, Rick. Newcastle? I believe Newcastle still exists, right? I haven't seen it, well, for a while, but I'm never looking at that kind of beer. Yeah, I'm sure they do. Of course, I just typed in Newcastle, so now I got the travel advisories for Newcastle. Yeah, brewing moved from Newcastle to Dunstan and Heineken. Oh, Lagunitas brews it. Huh, that's interesting. Lagunitas has also been sold to a giant hedge fund type thing as well. I can't. That's crazy that Lagunitas has gotten so big that they're brewing Newcastle for the American market. That surprises me. But yeah, Lagunitas got bought by a firm, but then they had a bunch of financial trouble. The group that bought them, I don't even think it was related to the beer, but they were like barely brewing there for a little while. So yeah, typical horrible corporate malfeasance. But yeah, Muskrat, you're drinking a Fitz beer. Newcastle is not good. That's what I was kind of saying in the article. It's just kind of associated with like a working man's beer, but for a while it was the most popular beer. It said in the UK, but that's probably just like it's their Budweiser, right? Let's see if Breckenridge has been I think someone owns them because for a while, I remember when I first was getting into craft beer, they had like some beers that I thought were really cool, and then it was like all of a sudden they were everywhere. But and like I said, it doesn't mean they're not good. I just yep, they're owned by InBev. So Breckenridge is an American brewery based in Littleton, Colorado. Select beers can be found in 42 states. The company was purchased by InBev in 2016. So it's saying they still have their own creative direction, which that's what I'm saying. The beer's probably good, but Dan said his older sister is talking him into going vegan. There's a few vegans who watch the channel. I mean I think it's a great. I mean if you can, and I have a number of vegan friends as well. But I was vegetarian for like 7 years. I never went vegan. Uh, Back then, especially when I was vegetarian in my 20s, it was really hard to even be vegetarian, let alone vegan. Not that it wasn't doable if you were dedicated, but it's like a one. I was a freshman in college when I started being vegetarian, so it was there was nothing around then, and then all the jobs I worked and stuff. It just, yeah, it was a goal to be vegan, and I never came close to pulling it off. Back then, there were no good like cheese substitutes or anything, and now there's a lot more. And now I just know more. I could cook pretty easily vegan now, where I couldn't have back then. But I eat vegetarian. I'm not vegetarian, but I eat vegetarian at home. Like I don't buy any meat, and I don't cook any meat. But I don't, I don't. If I go out or if I'm at someone's house, I eat whatever. So yeah, so I'm fully supportive of vegan, but I'm not vegan. So Rick. Are you vegan party size? I don't think I knew that. Oh, that's right. Party size Dylan and Rusty are vegan. Yeah. Malk your beer again. Interesting, Rick. How did you try and find out for sure? Oh, party size. You've been vegan for 8 years. Yeah. I think, and it's not like it's too late. Like I can't go back, but I think if I, in my 30s or just in time now where not my age has nothing to do with it, just the fact that there were just not very many good options and the amount of work it would have taken when I was vegetarian. I also got it also would like, I don't know, if I would go to someone's house, it would just got to be where I couldn't be like, hey, sorry, I'm vegetarian. And that's why I kind of like stopped being like strict with vegetarianism. Like I said, I'm vegetarian at home, but that's it. Yeah, well, factory farming is like why I went vegetarian. I actually was reading up on it and just how disgusting it is for the animals, for the environment, um, just everything. How horrible like the way meat is produced from the most part in this country. I feel better eating. Yeah, I feel better like when we go to the farmers market and get something that Aaron gets something that's meat and we eat it than I do buying some corporate vegetarian food now. Like that's probably even worse with a bigger environmental impact and all that. But there's many different reasons, so I'm not. There's many different reasons to go that route, so I'm not trying to. Yeah, Dan, you got some experts that would know exactly how to do things. So, yeah, feel free too on the Discord. We do have the "What You Honking On" section, which, yeah, it could definitely be plenty of like, you know, me and Rick's food photography with meat in there sometimes. But feel free to use that for like sharing any kind of diet stuff. I think that was the problem too when I was trying to go vegan. I was thinking in terms of like some of the like when I was vegetarian at college and like some of the kids who were vegan. Like I remember we were eating bagels that someone was giving out, and we were all well, I don't. It seems like it's not like this anymore, but back then, like when you were a college student, you were kind of like a even though it was super expensive, you were a poor college student. You were trying not to spend a bunch of money. It's not like we went out and ate or anything like that. And then I remember we found free bagels, or someone gave them to us, and he was like, "Oh, they're shiny. They have an egg wash on them." Then I remember that kind of turned me off of veganism. I'm like, I can't be that particular when I just need to eat. But I, yeah, like I said, it's not like that anymore. There's plenty of good options. Muskrat said you did a raw diet and lost 70 pounds and quit smoking in 2005, and that's when you got back into cycling. Huh, nice. Oh, yeah, Pudgy, you're in a super small town. That would be nearly impossible. Yeah, Columbus is definitely better being a younger and hipper city. Brad, who's been on the show, not funny Brad, but Columbus Brad, Flavortown Brad, whatever we call him, he's vegan, and he's been vegan, God, I would have to say for almost a decade at least, probably more. But yeah, when we go out with him in Columbus, it's like we go out to restaurants and he's able to eat at restaurants and eat vegan. There was no chance of that uh, years ago. And then, in Akron, you could still pull it off because my friend Greg, uh, when we go out, he's able to usually find something that's better than just French fries. Some places it sucks. He's kind of cool. He's like, don't worry about me. Like when we're choosing where to eat, and it's like, no, tell us a place that will make it so you could enjoy yourself as well. And there's enough, but Akron's still not like a small, tiny city like where Pudgy is, but Akron's still a small enough city that there's not that many great food options. When Rusty was in town, we went to Noms right across from the bike shop, and I think Dylan ate there too, maybe. But I know Rusty was saying that it's amazing. Like for vegan options, it's one of the best spots. So, Rick, you asked if I'm on Top Chat. No, it should be showing me everything. Ah, you were saying it. If a bagel is shiny, it just means it was boiled. Okay, he was the guy. This was, and again, now this is 20 years. Well, more than 20 years ago. I'm 43. Yeah, but 25 years ago, the kid was just looking at it. And he was like, "I think it has egg wash on it." So, yeah, that stuck in my mind for some reason. I don't know why. Yeah, all these years later, I still remember that. Oh, obsolescence. Bake your own bagels. I've never attempted. I like to bank, and bank. I like to bake, and I've never tried to do that. Rick's comment. I don't. Is this straight up serious? I know a guy that lost his leg in a motorcycle crash. From that day on, he couldn't eat meat. Oh, from seeing it like opened up and stuff. Oh yeah, that's right, Pudgy. You've eaten there too. You and Malk ate with me over at Noms, even though we weren't getting the vegan options. Like, yeah, Rusty and Brad, they both. Yeah, it was Rusty and Brad who have eaten there. They both said it was great. So, ironically, in that space used to be a vegetarian, not that exact space, but just in that building used to be a vegetarian restaurant that Chrissy Hind from the Pretenders owned. And I think it was just a couple years too early. Like for it wasn't successful. Some people said it just wasn't good. Even though I was vegetarian at the time, I never ended up eating there. Just back in that day, I was in my band in my own world and whatever. Walk your comment. Yeah. Party size says he makes bagels for coffee outside. It's not that hard, just a lot of passive time. Nice. Pacifist bagels. Lard, are you saying vegetarian was good? Chrissy Hines restaurant? Large would probably be the expert on noms because I'm sure you eat there more than anyone, being it's right across from where you work. Chris said worked at a hot dog processing plant for an electrical call out. Hot dog. A typo in there, but I get what you're saying. You're saying can't eat pork to this day. Oh, huh. Yeah, I don't. Trying to think of why I never went there. I think, well, one, it was pricey and I was super cheap back then, and pricey now by my standards probably wouldn't be that bad. Not that I'm some like big spender, but you know how it goes. You grow up, you know. Yeah, the sign was still right. Oh yeah, the bike shop used to be where the original Dirty River location, right, is where Vegetarian was, I believe, and the sign was still there. And actually, Otis, the owner of the building, I think gave Otis a bunch of the Vegetarian T-shirts that were still had been hanging around in storage somewhere. Rick said he would do whatever Chrissy Hine tells him to do. I think she's been like a pretty big activist in that world, like always, or for a long, long time. Yeah, and Obsolescence was saying, yeah, Vegetarian was good for its day. Akron just wasn't ready for it yet. Yeah, and I think I always grocery shop to get my what I wanted to eat vegetarian. When I was vegetarian at first, I was really unhealthy. I was just eating a bunch of processed vegetarian food. I actually became much more healthy when I just started cut out processed food and stuff like that, like all the microwavable junk. I used to eat like microwavable bean burritos, and it's like, yeah, they're vegetarian, but they're just garbage, like, yeah, just garbage processed food. So let's look at some bike pics. I mean, I'll talk food all night too, but we can keep the chat going on it as well. But oh, Chris was saying, Blackball was saying, dry February. So he's drinking some tea. Nice. Yeah, I'm not a huge cook. I like Rick. I see like what you guys make, and even in the Discord in the food section, Muskrat looks like he cooks well. I make like really simple stuff. I just always like living alone. I just don't. I'm impressed by anyone who puts in the effort to cook really well. And I'm not, and I mean I eat at home and I cook, but I just really don't have it in me to get like a bunch of dishes dirty and all that. Like I cook. I make a lot of like black beans because I like simple black beans. They're so quick to make and just season them and stuff like that. And pasta, I've started to branch out a little more. Like I've been like making quinoa and some rice and some frozen veggies and stuff like that. But I'm pretty simple. I'm impressed when people like cook these great looking like this great looking food. Erin cooks really well for herself too. I'm always like, making all that for yourself? Like I just yeah. I just don't want to be hungry. That's about my extent of it. Yeah. Yeah, Pudgy. Yeah, the freezer. Muskrat, you worked at the Morton Salt Factory. Is that the one where they have the big mine right up by the really good swimming spot? Because there's a big. I made a one of the cycling videos for my the birthday ride I did this year. Me and Aaron went up to I can't Menor Headlands, and there's a big Morton Salt mine right up there. Is that where the plant is? Plant is. Rick said dry February is followed by sloppy March. That's that's the problem I've had anytime I've tried to go dry. Like it just comes back with a vengeance. I need to just cut back in general, but not quit. But oh, it was in Ripman. Oh, huh. Morton Salt's factory is in Ripman. A lot of my country cousins live out that way. We were riding out. We were riding out that way a couple times this summer and fall too, though. Ripman orchards and stuff like that. Pudgy made soy miso grilled salmon over ginger garlic couscous tonight. Nice. All right, yeah, bike pics. Bike pics. I lost my spot. I had scrolled back to where I thought we would have been after the last stream, but I'll scroll back and then pull them up. Oh yeah, I think it was. I think we're about with. Yeah, there we go. Dylan's snow photo from the fourth. Which. Oh, I have. Speaking of the fourth, I have a question about that, but I'll show bike pics and then I'll ask you guys an opinion on this bike shipping issue I'm having. Is Dylan out in the snow on the fourth? Oh, after he got the big tires on the tumbleweed. Yeah, and this is what my bike looked like, and I brought it into the shop because I wasn't shifting right, and I needed Otis to help me index it. But it was so cold that day that this is on my way home, but it didn't look much better at the shop, and we were trying to brush it off, and then so instead Otis tried to index it before all the snow melted, and then after about 2 minutes, it just started dripping like crazy. He's like, "That's gonna have to be good enough," and then we put it back outside so it wouldn't soak the shop floor. But yeah, now even though there's still snow everywhere, our roads are at least clear. So even when I'm riding this, it's not getting covered anymore. Oh, there's Michael's ride. I didn't look at what his caption on this one was. Oh yeah, that looks great. I put since I put the bar and shifter on my winter bike, it's been a little bit of an adjustment, but I'm starting to get used to it. Oh, you have a triple on there too. Yeah, actually tonight when I was in the shop, Otis helped me fine tune that bar end, so it's working a lot better now. My turns out my rings are pretty much destroyed, and he was saying they don't have aftermarket ones for the size on my mountain bike, so I might have to switch out the whole crankset here. I don't know. I'm hoping it just melts and I could worry about it next year, but we'll see. Michael, you might change out the triple at some point. Yeah, I yep. I don't. I switched the front shifter to friction, and now I actually like it. It was getting frustrating with the indexing. The indexing worked great for years on the triple, but then it just kept having trouble. This is Summit Perry's bike. Yeah, Summit Perry's just such a trooper. I keep saying it, but yeah, he's commuted all through this mess of a winter that we've had since the beginning of January. Oh, David, I think he was out riding some of the groomed trails in was that near Minneapolis, which I wish I saw that Lanky was out in Pymatuning, and a couple other people have gone out to Pymatuning. We rode there this summer. We didn't ride around the actual park. We kind of just rode there. It was over 100 miles and just camped and then rode home the next day. But yeah, it'd be cool to get out to some of these trails that they do groom around here. I heard a couple people say it was a little bit of a struggle, but I don't get how I don't get how you guys aren't having any snow in Philly. Like you're so close. Oh, obsolescence. You said F Biopace. That's what you have on your bike, right? Did you change it out? How Rick said all these iced up bikes are making him sad. Yeah. Oh yeah. There's Lanky. What's up? Yeah. Punderson grooms for fat bikes. Yeah. Did I say they didn't? I meant to. In my mind, I was saying they groom Punderson. So yeah, I said that wrong. Yeah. Sorry, Michael. Yeah. If you got to stay the. I can't. I was trying to think of some foreign language triple joke, but I couldn't come up with anything. I hear Philly's nice this time of year. I can't sing the Punderson song. Hey, what's up, Abe? How's it going? You guys had the 40s today. God, how do you? I mean, you guys like live at like. I feel like you guys should have similar weather to us over there because we today was like 28 when I went to the shop. Anyways, what we got to show. I think it was it Pudgy's comment on this one that was so great. So Rick wrote, "Eat snow, Ohio," and then Pudgy commented with the well, at least we're allowed to swim in our grassy fields because really that is a no swimming sign in front of a grassy field in a brick building. Musgrave's snow because he's been. Where are you riding in this photo, Musgrave? I can't. I think the caption has it. No, dashing through the snow. Oh, those are studded too, aren't they? The studded fat tires. I was riding. I think I talked about this in the last video, but yeah, riding Otis's fat bike with the studded tires, and man, that is just like makes it like such a monster truck. You feel like you could do anything then. Oh, that's right. Musgrave was saying there's certain parts of the trail, like the Freedom Trail and stuff, that they've seemed to have cleared. My problem is they're not the parts that get me to it. So, like I said, the problem with traveling around this winter is like the shoulders and the bike lanes haven't been plowed. So even roads I would normally ride on to get places, if it's after dark, I just don't want to be out on. Dylan's tumbleweed out by the river. Oh, you obsolescence. You were saying that was a positive on the biopace. You love it, yeah. And then large, you have. Do you still have the? You had an oval chain ring on the Velo Orange, right? Velo Orange, not a biopace, but a. Oh, and Musgrave is saying Freedom Trail's been plowed from Howe to Middlebury. Yeah, I was really surprised with all the yeah, drinking out of it. That's what I was saying. I need to get an insulated bottle. We were chatting about that too. Oh, and Barron's Peugeot. Barron's in. Wait, is Barron in Austin? Right? I can't. I'm trying to remember. But he has, yeah, nice weather. I was commenting on one of his videos. He was talking about how it felt cold and it was in the 50s, and I'm like, I can see how that feels cold where you're from, but I'm dealing with 2 feet of snow and everything. I love the purple on that Peugeot. It seems like such a rare color. I've rarely ever seen one looking like that. Yeah, yeah. Naming a video, you shouldn't ride in the winter. I thought I was just automatically going to get like it's YouTube, it's the internet, people who wouldn't watch the video and just write a bunch of negative stuff. But I was saying it was amazing because people who don't ride in the winter and people who do ride in the winter both wrote really positive comments. Like I was telling Aaron on the phone the other day, or yesterday, I guess I put it out yesterday. I'm like, when does this ever happen when people watch a video and then they just take what works for them and are positive about it? I'm like, this is like an internet first, I made a video that people didn't get mad about. They both were like, "Oh yeah, I don't want to do it. Like I that's cool." Or like, "I love riding in the winter. It's beautiful. Good points." I'm like, "What did I step into bizarro world that people aren't arguing?" They're like, "Oh yeah, for sure." No matter what their opinion was. So, speaking of not riding in the winter, here's Patrick's bike out in Arizona. I know we've talked about it, but I'm just looking at the chat now. Like, do you and I know I've asked large and it's just escaping me, like, do you guys like really feel like, does it feel like dramatically different from running the oval chain rings, like, or like a slight difference, something you notice? That video should get a Nobel Peace Prize. I love how you guys are all like on the internet. I mean, like, really go to, if you haven't, like in all different degrees of comments too. Like, how, like, people are like, if it gets too cold, I can't do it. This is what I wear though, and it was just like all this positive feedback. I told Aaron when I made that video, I'm like, I recorded like just like a voiceover, over like my riding footage. And I told Aaron, I'm like, I don't even think this is worth putting out. I just kind of rambled about like winter riding, like really neutrally, and I don't think it's interesting at all. And then I'm glad I did because it has like a really good conversation behind it. So, yeah. Yeah, I felt like it made sense to be like honest about. I think like people when they make winter riding videos, they're very like rah rah. You should ride in the winter no matter what, and it's not for everybody, and it does cost money. And but I like doing it, except this winter. So, and Pudgy's saying he finally has something neo retro. Yeah, Michael, not sure we use the same internet. What's up, Dimitri? How's it going? Yeah, Dimitri and I would skip comments on most videos too. Well, I was I was saying Terry B's latest video about like with Bike Snob about like why he doesn't wear a helmet. I'm like, oh man, the comment section, because the guy makes all good points. Everything is reasonable about it. It like yeah, that's where there he is. Tim won't let me read Terry B's comment section. Oh, Pudgy, I noticed you just got into the shorts game. You posted like 5 shorts videos. Yeah, that's the thing about shorts. I don't know if you. I'm assuming Pudgy that you don't look at TikTok because you're like me and you still call streaming music. Oh, now it's gonna escape me. God damn it. Whatever. But it has the TikTok effect where something can just catch on and go like that. There's something about it, like, because when I did the shorts, they would be all over the place. Um, I have a couple that like I think I did a bike check on my Trek that went to like 2,000 views, and then I put out the next one that got like 27 views, and then yeah, they're crazy. Yeah, because it's like people aren't looking. It's not normal YouTube. People are looking at them on the scrolling phone thing, and the algorithms just working so much faster. What's up, Charles? Charles says it seems like the Power Stroke is longer with a small biopace ring when climbing. You have one on a light Cannondale touring bike. Oh, I missed Raymond's comment till I saw Rick's about it. If Bob Ross made a bike video. Oh, that's right, Dimitri. I just right before I came on, I saw you had posted a short as well, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's true. There are certain buzzwords for each category that will pop up, like will make you kind of launch forward. But the biopace are egg shaped rather than oval. Oh, I didn't know that. They take the whip out of the pedal stroke and help with high cadence. They help a ton on climbs and in low traction like mud ice. Yeah, it's interesting how they aren't very popular in the pro ranks, but you know, um, right now. But Chris Froome uses them, and he's won what 4 Tour de France's. So, but everyone's pedal stroke is different. So, Gary, you said you've never worn a helmet in your life. Well, it's interesting in the Terry B video because the guy, Bike Snob, who's talking, he was like, "I'm an alert rider," blah, blah, blah. And when me and like Otis were chatting, it's like we drink beers and we do lots of dumb stuff. And I even wrote a comment on that video like that, and Terry was like, "Yeah, winter riding, drinking, mountain biking, sports riding, descending mountains. There are times to wear helmets. There are times where I would think you were a little crazy not to wear one, but like to commute, I won't get on anyone's case. To me, it's like exactly like he says in the video. He's like, if it makes you feel safer, it's a why not. And that's what a helmet is to me. It's a why not. I wear it all the time now, but as I've said on this channel many times before, almost none of us wore helmets like that. People I rode with when I started getting back into cycling, whatever that's been now, 6 years ago. I wore baseball caps. Like I never thought of wearing a helmet. We didn't wear helmets growing up, and stuff like that. But I don't look down on anyone who doesn't. Like I said, you're gonna go hit super gnarly mountain bike trails. Probably makes sense to put one on. You're commuting around town and you don't want to wear one. It's your choice. Abe said, "Does anyone in here actually TikTok? I thought it was a Zoomer thing." You know what, Abe? Movistar's on TikTok. Um, Jumbo Visma's on TikTok. There's some of the So since TikTok tailors, it's the reason it's so popular is it tailors because the videos are so short. The algorithm, it's like YouTube, but it just the algorithm works so much faster. All my stuff is turned into J Dan. Do you like this map stuff? Um, Etymology stuff, science stuff. Neil deGrasse Tyson is one of the guys who always pops up in my feed, and then cycling stuff. So it's like, yeah, TikTok has run the whole gamut now already of everything, and it's like the criticism of every new social media. Like, I don't just want to look at pictures of people's foods or people doing the dances. TikTok's not showing me people doing the dances, stupid trendy dances now because it knows it's like, oh, this guy watches bike stuff and nerdy history stuff. So yeah. It's it's so good that I only can open the app if I know I have like 20 minutes where I don't plan on doing anything but vegging out. It like every video that will pop up is usually so up my alley and engaging. Like you'll get lost in it. Kenny, Missing Falls Brewery, Kenny was saying like he had the app for a little while and he was like, then I decided I wanted to watch my daughter grow up instead and had to delete it. That's how addictive it is and why it is growing so fast. But so Dimitri said he never wore a helmet when he rode BMX and would also use the BMX to get from spot to spot, but wonder how his accident would have been without a helmet. Same thing with me. Like I've knocked my head on the ground since I've been wearing a helmet, and I'm like, man, I'm glad I had a helmet on in those times. So, like you said, his wife's especially in traumatic brain injury always wear a helmet. One of the points in the bike snobs thing is helmets aren't tested. Most helmet brands aren't like verified for anything, and his point is more talking about the car impact. Like the idea thinks people like helmets keep you safe from getting hit by a car. They certainly do not. That's why I think they're important for mountain biking. You knock your head on a tree as you like make a bad turn. I feel like that's where they're going to have more of a difference. But yeah, I'm absolutely anti compulsory helmet laws. And people cite this one fact too that I think is you need to think about. Like when they talk about the Dutch, they're like, none of the Dutch wear helmets. Well, their bike infrastructure is completely different. And what the big reason in the Dutch government, they've said this, and like the government has said, like the reason they don't make helmets compulsory is because it'll make the studies have shown less people ride bikes if you make it so you have to wear a helmet. So you have to think of it in two different ways. Like they don't want to do that because they don't want to keep people from riding bikes. And so it's not necessarily a safety thing, but then again, they do have the infrastructure that makes bikes safe. Bikes aren't very safe in Akron, Ohio, or Brecksville, Ohio, in a lot of ways. So to me, I just wear a helmet. I could definitely see times like when we're doing Ohio to Erie and I'm on a long stretch of bike path. Uh, there's a lot of times where I take it off and I hook it on my bag. But riding around town, I wear it, but I'm not going to tell anybody else that they have to. Like I said, there's certain things where I think you should. You're riding half pipes. Why not? I mean, why not put a helmet on? But yeah, Abe said not going to tell anyone what to do, but glad he had a helmet on all the times he's been hit by a car. Yeah, and Abe said then too. It's totally fair. He just kind of uses Instagram to look at photos of bikes. Yeah, and that's the same thing with me. Like Instagram is I'm only looking at the stuff of people I follow and then the nonstop advertising they put in there now, but trying to scroll through it. But Malk said mountain biking has overtaken his YouTube feed since Pudgy Mike and him couch YouTubed an entire afternoon a few weeks back. Yeah, nice. Michael Michael said his father-in-law is on TikTok, take that for whatever it's worth. Yeah, it's interesting. Like one guy, yeah, just I'm not going to get into it, but yeah, just a number of people who have been very successful on TikTok are people who are just like I said. One guy's just a New York history guy. He like shows these little interesting nooks of New York history, and I love New York City. I always have. So it's like one of those things where I'm like, oh, this is sweet, and it's like only a 60-second bit just to learn like some little fact. But the problem is then you go to the next one and the next one and the next one. So Rick, I'm an injury attorney. Do not wear a helmet. Muskrat asked, "Have you ever bought a helmet that made too much wind whooshing noise?" I haven't. No, I haven't actually had that many helmets because I've only been wearing them for a couple years, 3 years maybe, 4 years, right? Large. Um, First, I had like the nutcase helmets. I really liked their like colors and like the look, but they're actually the ones I had were kind of big and heavy. And now I have a Kali, Kali, the one, and I like it because it has the light building in the back. Yeah, it's almost one of the reasons I like the helmet in the winter more than anything is because, and I used to before I had this one, the last helmet I had, I would strap light to the back in the winter just to get a second light up higher and a different flashing pattern. But I really like the Collies that have the light built in. That's kind of a big deal to me. Um, from where I'm riding here at the studio to downtown Akron on Howard Street, I just really like to have a couple lights going. So, no, I've never had one that whooshed, but I could imagine. Yeah. And Nathan says he wears one all the time, false sense of security. That's one of the arguments against it that people might be risky. People are riskier thinking it protects you more than it does. Um, yeah. Oh, Malk, wow, that's crazy. You wear a helmet now because you crashed in 2013 and were paralyzed and in a coma. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right, Pudgy. You had that horrible wreck too. I forgot about that. Rick said, speaking of NYC, anyone else sign up for the five boroughs? I really, man, I kind of want to do that. It would be kind of cool to get to meet probably, Terry said he's doing it. I would assume he would at least organize to like get a ride next to him and say what's up for a little bit. Since we've chatted online now for what 2 years, but I just don't. Erin said she's out on swinging in New York right now because of money, and I kind of don't want to go alone. And then we've also been considering. Last year we went and rode the North Bend Rail Trail in West Virginia, and Kenny again from Missing Falls has been talking about organizing a different West Virginia trip, and it would be those same dates. So I was kind of thinking about doing that instead because it would be well, I wouldn't be doing it alone if Rick's doing five boroughs and I know other people there, but travel would be cheaper and all that kind of stuff. I really want to do the five boroughs, but I don't think I'm going to do it this year. Muskrat said laser helmets disrupts your sense of peace. Is that a whoosher? Do laser helmets whoosh? Who else? What Lanky? Are you still here? Does he have a laser? Abe said he had some motorcycle helmets that were much louder than others. I got to assume motorcycle helmets you have to be really. You'd think they would have those wind tunnel tested to make them not noisy, because at those speeds it would really have an effect. But Chris said always a helmet as hard as falls are under 10. I agree with that too. Like most of the time I've actually hit my head on the ground. I have not been hit by a car. Um, but most of the time I've hit my head on the ground is because like I didn't pull my foot out of a tow cage at a stop sign or something stupid. Or again, slow speed drinking accident. Me and Otis were talking about. Oh, and my I was riding my Peugeot next to a large, and I just hit like a sewer lid wrong, and I had a heavy backpack on because I had my drone and everything with me, and I just it was just a normal residential street, but I went over the bars and like yeah, so stupid stuff, yeah. But then again, I don't know if I can't remember if I hit my head in that would it have mattered or not. I don't know. I have scars on my face though from going down super hard one night that I don't even remember. Well, I think it's why. Well, I guess here why this eyebrow kind of has a weird angle to it because there's a scar in the eyebrow from how hard I hit my face in the helmet. So I'm assuming the helmet up here kept my head from cracking harder on the ground. But yeah, a skirt would feel nice on the bike. Yeah. Oh, Farley said he has a laser but hasn't used it yet. Well, hopefully, Farley, your helmet doesn't whoosh. Yeah, we have some sewer. There's sewer grates, Pudgy, between the studio and like where we ate at Noms. There's a lot of that I'm always avoiding, and that's one of the annoying things about riding down Howard and why I'm talking about the double lights is because I can't ride like I'm not that I ride right on the curb anyways, but I do have to be out in the road a little more than I would like to be. You thought my eyebrow was a Vulcan thing? I can't look at the screen where I am and the camera at the same time. I'm like, oh yeah. Yeah, Nutmeg would be a great meetup. I started to think about, so we didn't do the winter meetup that I had initially started to talk about. Um, it was pretty mixed reaction, anyways, to that idea. But like industrial gravel ride year two, did we do that the first week in June? Because I was starting to think of maybe it's time to plan for year two of that. Nutmeg, the reason Nutmeg inspired me because the way they did Nutmeg is kind of what I had in mind, like not on that scale, but a couple things about it. And so I was trying to kind of want to workshop some of that idea. So Muskrat said, anyone ever slip on the wooden bridge after a rain? I've had plenty of friends who have. Thank God well, no, I've gone down on one in the snow. Muskrat, I went down on the big one over by Big Bend in the snow, but not in the rain. Pudgy needs to teach me how to bunny hop. Yeah. I was actually when I first got the Peugeot with the tow cages, I could like bunny hop that a little bit, but that day I think there was some alcohol involved and then yes, a heavy backpack on. So yeah, I'm pretty hopeless on true bunny hopping. When I watch people get like just fully like bunny hop a bike really well, I'm always so impressed. I don't know why it's not my skill. So Malk was asking, could industrial grav ride be an overnight? So that's what I would love to figure out. You know, like Dylan and his buddies camped, but I was like, man, is there a way where we could make it that kind of? Um, it would need to be like private property to do it, like the way I would like envision like Nutmeg, like Malk was saying. Like, would there be a way where we could have like a spot? And it doesn't mean you would have to camp, but like I'm just trying to think of how could we have a property where we could have like a like a nice bonfire and hang out and drink some beers and figure out a food situation and then do it like they do with the rollout in the morning where, we roll out, but it's just like really is the GPS file or the GPX file. So everyone can kind of ride it at their own pace. And I don't know. I would love to make it something like that. I'm not sure. I don't know how to go about it, but JMZ, Industrial Gravel Ride 2022. Yeah. Industrial gravel overnighter, camp in an asbestos iron furnace, or maybe large knows. If large is, if you're still up, is there a? No, that would be too much. I'm thinking like stealth camp on top of illegal bike ride. That might be. Plus, so there were one or two to tack back to reality. A couple of things I had in mind that would have made sense, but then I was thinking about the parking issue with people coming from out of town. So everyone local, it wouldn't be a problem because then you could almost like bike pack in, set up your stuff, we do the ride, and then you could reload your bike and ride out. So I would have to figure out a way where everyone was able to park and then ride to the spot, perhaps. I don't know. Malk Bunny hops better with alcohol. Oh yeah, Pudgy's bunny hop clinic at Nutmeg. That'd be awesome. Oh, Muskrat, you did go down on the wooden bridges. I'm pretty conscious of the wet wooden bridges, like because they are so slippery. There's the one on the Freedom Trail by Kent where I've had a couple friends go down. Our buddy Scott Sheridan, I think, ate it there, and yeah, a number of those wooden bridges that just become like ice. Yeah, and Heritage Farms, Dylan, and then I don't know, maybe we build it into the route. It is a little farther out of the way. It's not crazy out of the way, but that's where Dylan and his buddies stayed. I kind of like the idea though of it like not quite being like being off the grid a little bit. So, and not that people need to get rowdy, but I mean, so it's like I don't know. Lard said plenty of abandoned buildings we could squat in for a night. Yeah. Again, well, I guess there's a lot of parking in Akron that's free too, and around Akron where there could be a park spot and then a ride to spot for the actual spending the night. And then again, only with that, it would only have to be, you know, the people who are willing to do something a little more wild. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Take over all the park benches. Rick, whatever. Chris calls Little Spoon. Yeah, I can only imagine. Oh yeah, Abe, didn't you and uh, Yellowbird actually rode together for a while, right? Yeah, yeah. Most of the good camp spots along the industrial gravel route are taken. There are people living there, but yeah. Does Heritage Farms? Because I haven't actually camped there, Dylan. Obviously, like I always say, it's just too close. I ride by all the time. Do they have kind of like a, I mean, like a group way we can congregate there, or we could probably? I mean, you could probably get away with camping at Honda Hills, but yeah, yeah. Let's all right, go to the maps. I should be able to actually. Let me see if this will pull up the route that we used last. I would like to modify the route, of course, but oh, that's right, Dylan. You stayed at Heritage Farms a few times. Good thing though, Dylan, is obviously you could towpath from Heritage Farms all the way to Akron. Uh, and after the ride last year, people would have not minded a little bit of flat, easy riding. I think. Yeah, so this is kind of centered on where I am. Heritage Farms is in the national park, right? What about here? Yeah. Where are the actual? So it's a Christmas tree farm, or and then I know they put in some like they're kind of like lean-tos, aren't they? You could like they have some lean-to type things on the property. I've actually only looked at the pictures of where the camping actually is and not actually. Oh, so is that like I see a fire pit looking thing here? You out, Abe? Good to see it. All right. Wait, I missed a couple of these comments. The sewing circle. Large said Heritage Farms, Loop AP, oh yeah, there is some pretty cool gnarly stuff to ride out that way. Old AP, the abandoned road, would fit in with the industrial gravel vibe of the group. Stanford, East Rim, then head to Akron maybe. Yeah. Dylan said definitely group spots. Google Stealth, that'll work. Shelters and tent camping. He said the spots are all over the property. Okay, that makes sense with what I'm looking at now. How it looks. Yeah, I'm not opposed to the idea. If I'm able to pull off some of the like a private property idea like I have in mind, I think that would be even better because then there's just no limits. But yeah, we could make this totally work too. Hey, what's up, Alpine Daydream? This isn't real time Google Maps. Did the map show a fresh fish market in the middle of the country? No. Yeah, Lanky showed me a lot of cool. Like me and Lanky did a really. I met him right. Uh, no, Winking Lizard's not a fresh fish market. It's just a little chain restaurant. Yeah, I mean, me and Lanky met right here, so like super close to Heritage Farms. Like what, half mile maybe? Not even. And he showed me a bunch of stuff that I didn't even know about. But then, yeah, there are some other cool things around here. Coming out of Peninsula, this little town, Akron Peninsula Road officially ends here now. Now it's a super gnarly, washed out road climb. Nice tough climb all the way up to here to where the road starts to resume again. So, but yeah, there's other stuff to explore around there for sure. And then also the bike path heading this way. Here's the mountain bike trail, and then this bike path heads all the way back towards Akron. So you could do a more northern route with that kind of thing. Blackball, you said try to give some notice. Yeah, I think we planned it at least what 2 months out last year. I mean, we started talking about it early, so I think I'd do the same thing. Like, I think I'll definitely pick a date, and the other details could fill in, later. But yeah, and that's the thing too. So in Peninsula, there's two restaurants, and they have the one closed, and they're completely redoing it. So I'm hoping, so maybe that'll even be more of a viable option for food. So there's Fisher's right here. It says temporarily closed. Winking Lizard is. Oh wait, I don't have it on the screen. Sorry. So yeah, there's this Fisher's place right here, which is the local place. Winking Lizard has kind of become an average chain, but so you're not too far from. I mean, you're real close to a restaurant. We all would be, obviously. Yeah, East Rim is right there, as you can see the mountain bike trails. Yeah, maybe that's the way to go this time. Oh, I can't remember who said we're going to die from COVID, and I was like, "We're vaccinated. We'll be able to be vaccinated." I remember, and this is remember then too. We thought the vaccination was like going to be bulletproof, and I was like, "No, I set the date of the ride, so anyone who wants to be vaccinated should be, and we're going to be outside." And we all stayed outside except someone had to use the restroom here at the studio or whatever. So, winking lizard like a penis. Yeah, I can't remember, Rick. I put up the poll about who would feel safe riding in June, and yeah, someone was like, "You guys will all die of COVID," and I was like, "I think you're being a little dramatic about that." But let's go to the members break real quick because I need to wrap this up by about 10:30. I have to, and like I said, when I say early, I just mean early for me. I don't get up early anymore. Like I always say, I have to be up for a photo shoot, and then I'm going right from that one to another one, and then I have my big meeting for my Charlotte trip. So I also finally made the new video thanking the members, and I shortened that little thing up. So yeah, let me do a members break, take a leak, and then we'll wrap up for tonight. But I'll have more time to chat on Thursday, and then also we could take these meetup ideas over to the Discord. I would just like to take this moment to thank the channel members whose names you see on the screen right now. Their financial support really does make it possible to continue to grow this channel. We will be back in a moment, so it's time to crack open another tea packet and start letting the F-bombs fly. Thanks, everyone. Your eyes, the only thing that changed was the audio and adding the names. It's the same video! It's the same video. I just added the names, Musgrave and Michael, and then shortened the vocal part. Yeah, it can't be worse. I used to say smoke 'em if you got 'em. This is how I lose memory. It's the same video. Uh, that's a good suggestion, Malk. I just go live to the bathroom. Yeah. Oh, JMZ. It's just a new song. It's like I know better to give you guys the time of day on the members video, but I also can't argue with it that well. Claris membership. Yeah, I think I don't know. In all honesty, I do think it's worth getting the date out there early. I think by March to have the sometime in March to have the date out there for like a meetup, so people really can plan if someone does want to travel again. Yeah, we had like I when I was putting it out there, I didn't really expect that we would actually have some. JMZ actually traveled, Rick traveled, Pudgy had to work. Lanky, if you help plan a route, I think you might actually have to ride with us this year, though. So, but yeah, it's something that's been in the back of my mind, but I haven't gone too far on the concepts yet. But me and Lanky will have to avoid the private property where the guy in the pickup truck looked like he was about ready to kill us. So. What's wrong? What's wrong with opening another tea packet? I thought that was cute. What would be a good midpoint if we didn't head to Akron for like a break for like a? Oh, what's the place we were talking about going to, Lanky? But I think they weren't open yet, and we were also kind of running low on time. Is that where Riverview ends? No, Riverview goes all the way. Oh yeah, what's up by the Clippity Clop? Is it? Oh, the County Line Saloon. I've always wanted to go to this place, and we were talking about it. Maybe that's where we got to go. Lanky may ride, but he won't wave. Yeah, do you think the County Line Saloon would support a bunch of cyclists? We would let them know ahead of time, obviously, but they're open until 2 a.m. tonight. Actually, maybe that's where. Then we could stop over at the Clippity Clop and get some leather goods. Everett's gone, right? Obsolescence. I get they've been tearing out Everett Road because that would have been a great one. I don't know what it's going to look like now. Wait, where are we? Wait, back one more, right? Yeah. So this Everett Road has been a this they closed the road what 10 years ago, and it's been turning into a gravel climb since then. Now they're actually out there tearing up the road surface. So I mean, there's still going to be a obviously there's not going to be trees there by June, so maybe it is still like something that you know people like us would take on a stealth climb. But yeah, Lanky said might run into the lanky cowboy at the Clippity Club. uh, Jay Dandy's that high dive bar he's in. Yeah, I guess obsolescence that doesn't necessarily rule it out, but Nathan said, "What is the mileage and terrain?" The original what was our original mileage? Like 45? The one we did last year was about 45 miles, and the terrain was super mixed from off camber railroad gravel to. That's why I use the word industrial gravel because I don't really have it's like making up a word for what we were riding. To towpath, to some road, to like that awesome gravel climb behind Timbertop. So it ended up being well, we had it turned out for June it was extremely hot, right? Remember it was like 85 and humid, and I think just me, Jay Dandy, Dylan, and his two friends were the only ones who finished the whole thing. That was the other nice thing about the route last year is I made it like so it kind of triple looped around downtown. So there's plenty of breaking off points if you felt like you didn't want to go on any farther. It was easy to do. We kept regrouping, which I think was really bad to do in that kind of heat. We should have just stuck to the original plan of like you got a GP exit and you just like Nutmeg, you go out. If you want to ride with other people, you can, but like everyone's kind of on their own, which I think we'll definitely try and do this year. Um, so people can kind of form their own groups or maybe have a sweeper. Uh, I think organizing a sweeper is a good idea too. But yeah, it just turned out to be a brutally hot day, and then it turned out to be fairly climby, and the terrain is kind of wears you down. But we'll see if we do something totally different. It might not be as brutal. But oh, Alpine Daydream said they started tearing up Everett Road at the top, have made very little progress. It's still pretty solid. Yeah. Rick said the ride was disgusting. It was unreasonably hot. It just turned out, and it was when you're not. The other thing too is for an Ohio, well, anyone from the Midwest, as you know, you kind of get accustomed to different temperature levels. Like right now, going on when it's 28 is no longer a big deal. This was June, where it's typically not that hot yet in early June, and it just like it was the hottest day that we had all year by far, like by 15 degrees. Oh yeah, JMZ said there was one quicksand section. Yeah, Rick pooped his pants twice. Yeah, for sure, Dylan. I think for sure there should be official bailout points. And yeah, there. I mean, last year it did work out so people could bail out. I just think we need, and I want it to be anyone could show up and ride it. I just think we need to be able to, you know, if you're riding at a quicker pace, you got to be able to keep moving. Like on that day, to stand around and wait up was just bad. It like worked out bad, but no one waited in the end, Jay Dan. And so the last loop, which I think what only like seven of us undertook the last loop. At that point, everyone was just going for it. But That's a good idea. Maybe even loops that connect back and are optional. That's harder to do with the Cuyahoga Valley because the loops would be much bigger than they would have been in Akron. But Nathan, not everyone could get a trophy, Dylan. Last year was 47.62. Huh. Yeah, it's easier to make like loops with like pretty cool gnarly terrain. I don't know. I guess Lanky would have a better idea, and I need to look at the mileage of, or go back and look at the Strava of our ride. And of course, too, we were just out riding, and we were just like checking. He was just showing me some stuff. It wasn't like a completely planned and dialed route, so plenty of time to get that stuff worked out too. But some easy bike trails to get back. That is the good thing too with the valley. There, you are kind of always circling back to the bike trails. Pudgy, last year it really did. I mean, like I didn't make it officially like we were all like reconnecting back downtown, but the trail really did, or the route really did have like a looping aspect where you were crossing back close enough to where if you were from out of town and staying like JMZ, like back towards where he was staying, back right by Noms, it was able to get back without doing the last loop, without like being lost or a bunch of effort to find that way. So yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll plan it out. Like we'll plan it out even better. It always takes one of those to get under your belt as well, too. And like I said, I think a big part of one, it was the industrial gravel ride, and I made no bones about like I never hid the fact that some of this terrain was going to be rough, and we talked about tire size and all that. But yeah, I think the heat played a big factor in that day. So, oh yeah, that's Rick asked who was the guy with the water in the pickup. My friend Bob Darrow had just had a hernia operation, so he unfortunately couldn't ride. So he did like, sag support. But yeah, he kind of roughly followed the route, and he would meet up with us, and he was refilling our water bottles, which I was like, oh great, that's a way Bob could help out, but was totally like turned out to be absolutely necessary. Um, and I think they still had some of the fountains off for COVID, right? Like the parks hadn't turned on all the water fountains, and I was like, give me a break. But yeah, Pudgy? I'm impressed that you knew Bob's name. He jumps in the chats here too sometimes. I think he has his YouTube name is Robert, but mid ride gravel crit. Yeah, yeah, Hernia Bob, super nice. Yeah, he was great. And those also, we did one loop where I wanted to show like out by the air dock. Like we were gonna stop halfway at Hop and Frog, and it turned out they weren't open. They had changed their hours, another COVID protocol thing. But that was also great because the people who wanted to ride out there, Bob met us out at the farthest point on the ride, and it was so perfect to refill and get. He had some snacks too, which were definitely needed. So Nathan, part of the industrial gravel ride, we had no official help or anything like that because a lot of the route last year was illegal. So I mean, like was we were, and I gave all the warnings. I'm like, this is no like, if you're coming to ride this ride, it's not official. I'm just out riding my bike with some of my friends, and it was like all warning about like the fact that a lot of the spots we're riding are I don't know whose property it is, or it's train company property and they do not want you out there. There's no one usually there to bust you, but if there happened to be a cop car there, there's places where we've been yelled at. So, yeah, usually I usually what we're doing, we can't have official help or anything like that. Which is kind of the idea of the ride, that it was like a little bit underground. So just for the YouTube channel, I didn't put it out. I didn't talk about it anywhere but on the live streams. So I mean, I know this is going out there, but it's a pretty closed group. So Muskrat asked if anyone does canoe, kayak, bike pack. Now, a lot of people have talked about that. A lot of friends have been talking about the idea of trying to figure that out. I know Kenny's really into that idea. I've seen some people have like the folding things, but hey, what's up, Bradley? You're a little late because I'm about to shut down because I've got to be up early. I really do got to get to bed. Yeah, so where we are, there's not real like country gravel roads right here in Akron. So the idea was to show everybody what like the urban gravel that we ride for fun was, and maybe it needs to be modified as things get bigger because it was definitely like, yeah, like I said, the beginning of the ride where we turn on towards the railroad tracks and the abandoned road, we ride it all the time, but it's definitely not legal to ride. So don't worry, Bradley. This was the first time we've talked about the group ride. So we did one a year ago in June, and we just started to kind of spitball, as the kids say, some ideas for this year. So yeah, you're not missing out on anything, and there'll be once we're gonna do it, we'll definitely start to plan it. Like I even I even made a little website for it last year, so we'll do the same thing once we get closer. So yeah, we're talking June, by the way. Yeah, looking at June again. So yeah, way off, and just like again, just this is the first time we've even talked about any of it. There's been some stuff in my mind, but that seems a weird way to say it. Stuff in my head that I've been thinking about, but all right, I gotta go. I know it's not that late, but I've got to get my camera gear set up for the morning so I could just walk out the door and not have to think. But the kids definitely don't say it. All right, Thursday. I think Funny Brad might stop by with his new winter build, which is a lot like yours, Pudgy. Um, his commuter build. I'm not sure. We texted about it a little bit. Either way, Thursday I'll probably talk a little bit too because I'll be heading to Charlotte for a week, and some things have changed with that trip. So I might actually be able to stream at least one of the nights. I know I said that last time I traveled with this group. Get into that on Thursday. And if Funny Brad doesn't stop by, I think we'll work on this. See if I get it. So that's my vintage carbon look that we started last year, and it is so close to being done. I really want to button it up and get it out for a few rides this year. Kind of just more of a bike to ride a little bit and have built up that I think is cool. But yeah, the components kind of came together in kind of a cool way. So, all right, yeah, got to work. Talk to you guys on Thursday. No videos coming out tomorrow or Thursday morning. Haven't had the chance yet. So, yeah, Thursday.
See myself on your YouTube.
Okay,
All right.
bye. Okay,
Yeah.
this time.
Fitzwater photo.
In the awful way, holiday, holiday today, and all I want to say, holiday, holiday today. You catch the first train home, drive to be alone, yeah, and all I want to do is to get with you. Hey, the awful way, holiday, holiday today, and all I want to say, holiday, holiday today. You catch the